Soon I'll be travelling to see family in South Africa. In my series on Hats for Africa, I'm going to be showing you some beanies and bucket hats I've recently crocheted. Yes, I know it's really warm in South Africa, but with the evening and early morning game drives, it can get a little cool, and now I'll have a few hats to pass around to keep heads warm. My name is Lindy, and thank you for joining my channel. Welcome or welcome back. I've designed these beanies and bucket hats all with my interpretation of the vegetation and the various stages of sunset, from bright reds to pitch darkness. I'm going to begin with this Veld Flower beanie. I love the specks of green and the cream and the little bits of brown, which reminds me of the bush felt. And in this 100% cotton, it crochets up really quickly and it's very soft. The main focus is going to be on the Veld flower. I have linked a recent tutorial on the basic beanie at the end, but I'll show you in this tutorial how I crochet this particular beanie as well. The flower is surprisingly simple, and it's really nice to switch up your beanies and bucket hats. You can even add one to a board beanie. As a beginner crocheter, you'll be able to make this flower. It's single, double and slip stitch. It does require a little bit of patience. Let's begin the tutorial on crocheting a Veld flower beanie. If you start today, you'll be able to wear it tomorrow. For our Veld flower beanie, we're going to be using this lovely variegated yarn, which reminds me of the bush. It's got browns and greens and creams. It's 100% cotton. It's going to be a lovely durable beanie. To crochet this beanie, we're going to be using a 5mm crochet hook, and I can't wait to get going on it. We begin with a slip knot, and we're going to make 3 chain stitches. We then go into the first stitch of our chain and we make a slip stitch. Then to start the circle, we make 2 chain stitches, which is the first of our 6 double crochets. The next 5 double crochets we work into this circle, yarn over, so that's 3 in total. 4, 5, 6. Now we pull this tail to tighten it. We go into the first of the chain, picking up both of those stitches, and we do a slip stitch. So here we have center of our Veld flower. We're going to work into each of these 6 stitches, and we're going to put a petal in each of these 6 stitches. So we're going to be doing double crochets, so we start with 2 chain stitches. 1, 2. This is the first of the first petal. We then do 3 double crochets into the same space, 2, and we are making this hole. You'll see this hole is going to become the pattern. So we push them down a bit. So we've done 2 chain stitches and 3 double crochets. We're now going to do 2 chain stitches. We've already done yarn over. We go back into that same space and we do a slip stitch. So that is the first petal of our 6 petals. 2 chain stitches, 3 double crochets, 2 chain stitches and a slip stitch. Now each petal begins with 2 chain stitches and a slip stitch. We're now going to do 2 chains, which actually gets us to the next stitch, and then we go into the next space and we do a slip stitch. In this space, the next petal, we do 2 chains. Then we do 3 double crochets into that space. Two, pull it down a bit. 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and we go into that space and we do a slip stitch. That's the end of our second petal. So the third petal, we do 2 chain into the next space and we do a slip stitch. We do 2 chains to start this third petal, 2, and then we do 3 double crochets, three double crochets, 2 chain, back into that space and a slip stitch. Then we do 2 chain into the 4th petal space, slip stitch. 2 chain, 3 double crochets, it's an idea to just push them along so they don't overlap. We want to keep the petals flat. So that's the chain and 2 double crochets, 3rd double crochet, 2 chain, and back into that space, and a slip stitch. Right, so we've got 4 petals. We've got 2 more to go. 2 chain into the 5th space, slip stitch, 2 chain, and 3 double crochet. Two chain, slip stitch, two chain, slip stitch into your 6th space, and we're now at the end. Can you see the little spaces that are forming here rather nicely? We're now going to do the last petal. Three double crochets, move them along, 2 chain, and a slip stitch. So here we have completed the 6 petals. We're going to start the 2nd row of petals, but in order to do that, we need to create a base for them to sit on. So what we do is we create little chain stitches at the back here, linking to each petal ending. And I find this hook that I'm using, which is a 5, is just a little bit difficult to get into those. So I'm actually going to, just for this part, use my 4 crochet hook, 4mm crochet hook. So where I have finished my last petal, and I hope you can see what I'm doing because it's difficult when you're holding it. My hands can get in the way. So I'm going to make 2 chain stitches here. And then what I'm doing, and I'm at the corner here, I'm going to go to this one here and I'm going to link it into just 2 of these stitches and do a slip stitch. And I do find that the smaller crochet hook is easier. So we've made 2 little chain stitches. That's where we're going to be able to link the next row of petals. So 2 more chain stitches, go to the end of this one, next petal, find 2 little threads and do a slip stitch. And again, 2 chain stitches, go to this one, pick up 2 threads and slip stitch. 2 chain, next petal, this tail is getting in the way, next petal, pick up 2 stitches and slip stitch. We've got to the end of this now very quickly because there are only 6 petals. So we go into where this is, but we just go into the side here, another 2 stitches, and we do our slip stitch. So that is now the little space we've created. I'm just going to sew this back quickly. We are now ready to start our second row of petals, and we're going to go back to the 5mm crochet hook. So to begin that, we're going to do the same as these petals, but we're just going to make them slightly bigger. So whereas here we did 2 chain stitches and 3 double crochets, we're now going to do 3 chain stitches and 5 double crochets. So we begin with 3 chain stitches, and we're now going to do 5 double crochets, and we're going to put them all onto this little chain that we made. So 5 double crochets onto this chain, so 3 chain stitches, 5 double crochets. We're now going to do 3 chain stitches. We go back onto the same loop and we do a slip stitch. And you can see while I'm working this, it's easy to just push the front petals forward so that I have space to work. Then we repeat this petal, and if you remember what we did was we're going to just do 2 chain stitches to get us to the next loop. We go in here and we do a slip stitch. Then we do 3 chain stitches and 5 double crochets into this little chain at the back of the petal. Three chain, back into the same space, and we just slip stitch. Two chain to get us to the next space. Here is our next chain. 2 chain into the next loop. slip stitch, 3 chain, 5 double crochet. Three chain, back into that same space, and a slip stitch. Okay, so can you see where we are? It gets a little bit confusing. We've done 3 petals at the back, 6 petals in the front. We're going to carry on. I just want to show you here again. We've got 3 more loops at the back. 1, 2, 3. We're going to make 3 more of these petals behind these 6 petals, and you can see the difference is that this has 2 chains and 3 double crochets, and this has 3 chains on each side and 5 double crochets. The next row is going to have 7 double crochets, so you can see how we are creating a bigger flower. So we've just finished that. We need to get to the next loop. So we do 2 chains. We go into the next chain loops and we do a slip stitch, 3 chain stitches, 5 double crochets, three chain, back into the same loop and a slip stitch. So now we have 5 petals at the back. We just have 1 more to do, and our last petal, which is in that chain. If you're following on all of this, thank you for that. It's just a little bit tight, and I hope you can see over my hands. So here we have 6 front and 6 back, and you can see how they're starting to loop a little bit. So we now need to repeat as we did on the back. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do 3 chain connect, 3 chain connect all the way around here to again make the same little ridge we made at the back of the first set of petals. So let's do that. And I've changed my hook to the smaller one, and remember the first row we did like this was 2 chain. We're now going to do 3 because the petals have grown and we've got more distance to cover. So from these 3 chain we're going to go into 2 little loops here, and we're going to slip stitch, 3 chain, other side of the petal, and slip stitch. And we're at the end, so we're just going to link it here to 2 little stitches and slip stitch. Right, so we've made that little ridge here to connect the 3rd row of petals, and the 3rd row of petals are going to just be slightly larger. So we're still going to do 3 chains on each side and slip stitch them into the next stitch as we did before, but instead of 5 double crochets here, we're going to do 7. And in the beginning we did 3, so we're just going up to make them slightly larger. And we've now changed back to our 5mm crochet hook, which don't forget about that, because otherwise you're back using the wrong hook. So for the 3rd row of petals, I just want to show you can see how I'm working. I fold the petals forward so that I can actually work on that area without having the petals in the way. So we begin this with having 3 chain stitches, and now we're going to do 7 double crochet into here. So let's just check we've got that right. 3 chain stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're going to do our last 3 chain stitches for this petal, back into this space, and slip stitch. So again, in order to get to the next petal in the 3rd row, we do 2 chain, we do a slip stitch into that space, and we begin our petal. 3 chain stitches, 7 double crochet, 3 chain stitches, slip. So push them along, 3 chain, seven double crochet, 3 chain, back into the same space, and a slip stitch, 2 chain, and we're now going to go and work in this little loop here, slip stitch, and we'll do 3 chain, 7 double crochet, and 3 chain slip stitch. So I'm going to carry on now and finish off this last row, and I'll meet you at the end. And then we just weave this back here. And the other way.
I've linked a description of how to make this basic beanie at the end of this video, but just to show you, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all worked in this 5mm crochet hook. Everything is in double crochet, and I'm going to show you how we increase the circle. And each row has had 12 stitches added to the previous number.
Make a slip knot and 4 chain stitches. Chain 2 and make 11 double crochet. 2 double crochets into each stitch to make 24 stitches. Complete 2 double crochets and then 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. At the end of round 4 you will have 48 stitches, and at the end of round 5, 60 stitches. Round 6 is your last crown round. Make 2 double crochets into the first stitch and 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches.
At the end of the 6th row you will have 72 stitches. We then continue in our double crochet, working 1 double crochet into each of these stitches. We're now going to continue the beanie using the same number of stitches, and you'll see over time how it starts just going into a bowl. For the next 5 rows, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, we're going to do exactly the same. So we're going to start with 2 double crochets, and we're going to then do a double crochet, single double crochet into each stitch. So I'm going to continue on row 7, and I'll show you how I connect the row together at the end. So we're now at the end of row 7, all double crochets. We have 72 stitches, and when we get to the end, we go from the last stitch to the first. We go into the top of these 2 chain stitches, and we just do a slip stitch. So those are now connected. We then start the next row, which is row 8, as we did with row 7, 2 chain stitches. We then go into the very next stitch, which is this one here, so there's no space between them, and we do our double crochet. So this is now going to continue for the next 4 rows, 2 chain stitches to start, slip stitch to finish, and as you can see, we are already getting a bowl forming, and we will continue for the next 4 rows. This is the right side. We are always working facing the right side. When you do a circle, you're going in one direction and you're staying on the same side. We will then eventually just tip this over like that, and that will be the start of your beanie, the crown of your beanie. But let's carry on as we're doing now. 4 more rows and I'll meet you at the end. We complete row 11 by going into the top of these 2 chains, and we do a slip stitch. Now that we've completed it, you can see it's turning into a nice little hat bowl. So because we increased it to the 6th row and then stopped increasing, it automatically stays the same size and goes into this little bowl shape. And we can see this is the right side we're working on, and this is the wrong side. At this stage, I would advise you to put it on your head, try it to see, is it tight, is it loose, and then adjust. I've now put it onto my head and I've found that it's actually quite loose. It's a good centimetre or so loose. So I need to now decrease. If it's too tight, you're going to have to carry on going, but the advice I give you is at row 6, you need to make sure it's your crown size. So that's the important part, and then it shouldn't get too tight at this stage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do 2 rows, 12 and 13, where I'm going to decrease every 9 stitches. And then I'm going to re-look it and see whether it fits. Now, the way we're going to decrease, and this is row 12. We're going to start as we always do with 2 chain stitches, and then we're going to do a second double crochet, because obviously the first one is the chain. So that's 2, 3, 4, 8. So at the end of the 8th stitch, we're now going to make 9 and 10 into 1 stitch. And the way we're going to decrease is as I've done in the past, and I want to do it again to just make it clear. You start ready for a double crochet. So you go into the first stitch and you go round as you would do with a double crochet. You pull it out, and before you finish that double crochet, you go back into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Then you go yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off the rest. And what we've done now is we've decreased. We've made 2 stitches into 1. Let's do that again. So as we would start a double crochet, and the same method can be used for single crochet. So let's look at that again. Yarn over as we would for a double crochet. We go into the stitch as we would yarn over, pull through. But instead of completing the double crochet, we go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 4 stitches on here. Yarn over, we take off 2, yarn over, we take off 3. So there we have made stitch 9 and 10 into 1 stitch. So every 10 stitches we are decreasing by 1. I'm going to continue until I get to the end of this row. I'm then going to slip stitch and I'm going to do row 13 exactly the same. I'm going to try it on and I'm going to see whether it fits. I'll see you back here. Having completed 13 double crochet rows, we're now sitting with 56 stitches. It's fitting me very comfortably, so you do need to fit in order to check it's correct. To start the 14th row, we're going to do 1 chain stitch and complete this row and the next 2 rows, so 3 rows in total, in single crochet. By completing it in a single crochet, you're going to get a nice little band forming, which is going to be firm and comfortable. And I'm going to do these 3 rows now, just 1 single crochet into each stitch for the next 3 rows, and I'll meet you at the end. We're going to put our little felt flower onto the hat, and then I just pin it on, making sure to catch the flower.
My name is Lindy and thank you for joining my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe and you'll be notified when my next is available. Take care and bye.